I'm most concerned about the 44th President Barack Obama is that I've never seen in United States politics in our history someone being called world president, messianic leader, our savior. When the corporate press is behind somebody like this, look out. Congressman Ron Paul joins us out of the gates for his analysis, his breakdown. The congressman from Texas, of course, a presidential candidate who sent shockwaves through the political system, the controlled left-right paradigm, is with us for the next 20 minutes to break down what we're facing. Congressman, are you feeling the dread that many of us are feeling right now?
Yes, I do, but I don't think it's brand new. I didn't wake up with it. I've had it for a while. I don't think the election was a surprise, but the rhetoric is getting pretty strong, and they are getting very bold. I think McCain was obviously backup candidate in case something happened where Obama didn't win. They'd have been okay. They'd have been satisfied with McCain. But they've been positioning Obama for a long, long time. He's a man of the people, and yet he was the first guy to spend, more money than anybody else. He probably spent more money than everybody else put together in these last 2 years, and that was, on the books it's about $750 million. But when you look at all the free stuff and you look at all the things that have gone on in the last 3 or 4 years, I consider the fact that he's probably had a $2 billion campaign. But we have to realize this started a long time before he even announced to be president. If anybody who would have gotten that much favorable coverage for so long, you know that the plans are laid for him to be the individual that is going to be taking care of the corporate elite.
Well, he's the guy who helped ram through the banker takeover bill, and now what you predicted and others predicted is happening. They're openly announcing the end of the dollar, a new Bretton Woods, a new world monetary system run by a small group of private international banks. We will buy our carbon credits from them, and Barack Obama is signaled that he will do whatever they say.
Yep, and I think there's no doubt about that. He wouldn't be there if he didn't toe the line. And, when the meeting starts on November 15th for the new monetary system, this could be, the beginning of the end of what we see as what's left of our national sovereignty. I don't know how long it will take for their announcement. I guess the meeting starts on November 15th, and it won't be November 16th. I think it'll be a little while before the announcement is made and before we fully understand it. But I think the fact that the markets are relatively calm right now and the dollar has not totally crashed is all being orchestrated by all the central banks. The message is out that the dollar is doomed. They can't keep doing it. But I think temporarily they've been able to hold it together. But something has to give. And it's on the business news station now. It's not just your radio show and others talking about it. I was watching a business station yesterday, and they were very, very up. Stiglitz was on. I guess you've heard of that guy. He was on very much bragging about this thing, about a new world reserve currency and world regulations. That means world government, and it looks like it's coming rather rapidly right now.
That's right. We played the clip yesterday. He said over the banks, over the stocks, over every nation, a trilateral world currency, everything the Trilateral Commission announced in the 70s, everything we warned people about, and Obama is saying he's going to give us change. But the change with class warfare is robbing the middle class and transferring it all to the multinational corporations.
I guess you heard a statement by Sarkozy from France. He said that we want to reform capitalism. But our president, came right back, and he says he's all for this world summit, but only on one condition, that we not tamper with the free market system. I thought, and people believe this stuff. They just listen to that, and it just goes over their heads, and it's so sad.
Congressman Ron Paul is our guest. We're going to be back in 3 minutes for one more long segment with him, and I've got a list of important questions, but I'm not having to ask them because he's already on the same page, defending the republic, defending the true free market, defending sovereignty. We'll break down the new 44th president when we get back. Congressman Ron Paul is our guest. For those that just tuned in, the last segment we were discussing how they're openly announcing a world government of and by a private group of central banks, the same international institutions that created the derivatives implosion that we're seeing right now. Reuters, Obama urged to shape new economic order. Biden, in the last week, his running mate, the new vice president-elect, has called for world government twice last week and a new world order. Everything we told you decades ago, you are now seeing it. So they move out the old puppet Bush. They're moving in the new puppet to fool the left now to get on this bandwagon. And Congressman, I've been interviewing a lot of international experts, by the way, including Stiglitz, who's pushing all of this right now. And they are saying, yes, the big announcement that Powell's talking about on the 21st or 22nd of January will be devaluing the dollar and basically announcing a new economic order run by the very people that orchestrated all of this. But other world leaders are saying it's also going to be economic implosions and military adventures. Pakistan. What is this huge event where they're naming dates but then won't tell us what it is?
Well, they're just getting us prepared, and they are doing the planning, and they're in charge. And unfortunately, the people get distracted. I consider our election this whole past year or two is just a distraction, making everybody think, boy, this is really critical. This election means everything. You know, if we don't have McCain, the world is going to go to the dogs, or vice versa. If we don't have Obama, we're not going to be able to take care of the people, and the poor are all going to suffer and die. And it's all orchestrated to people, so people are misdirected from the important issues of war and peace and money and the Federal Reserve and the business cycle and all these calamities that are going on. So they don't want us to know, and by the time we do know and figure it out, then it's so hard to reverse the trend. You know, it's sort of like the Patriot Act should have been defeated before we passed it. Once it's passed, it's really tough to repeal laws like that.
Congressman Powell is saying the 21st, the 22nd. Others are naming that date. You're there at the Hill. You're closer to the inside of the actual workings of power than the general public is. Have you heard anybody who has inside knowledge about what the crisis is, or is it going to be the announcement of the New World Order?
Well, I think it's going to be an announcement of a new monetary order, and they'll probably make it sound as very limited. They're not going to say this is world government, even though if you control the world money and you control the military, which they do indirectly, they do control the world. They're mainly interested in controlling the money and natural resources. And right now it's not in the hands of private property owners. Here in Texas, we develop natural resources pretty much by private property ownership, and we all survive rather well. But compare that to what happens in Alaska. But what happens when it's a world central bank, worldwide regulation, and world control of the whole system of all the commodities and all the natural resources? What else can you call that other than world government?
And it's going to be controlled by the very financial institutions that orchestrated the controlled crisis, and they're openly saying, for those that don't know, and I'd like the Congressman to comment on this, but these IMF and World Bank chiefs, the head of the International Bank of Settlements, Treasury secretaries, others, Fed chairmen, are saying that we will pay different stock taxes, different derivatives taxes, different taxes on the stock market transactions, and there's going to be world carbon taxes that you buy from this group of banks. I mean, that is total control, and as Barack Obama said, he's going to bankrupt the coal industry that gives us 49% of our power. This is the neo-feudal model.
Yep, it is. It's indirect control. They're not going to own the coal mines, but and the coal processes. What they do is just tax you, and they can control us. And I've argued the case that we don't have private property in this country anymore because we have all the responsibility and liability. But can you use your land without getting permission? You have to get 20 permits to use your own land. And in order to stay on the land, you have to pay huge taxes. So we pay rent to stay on our own property. Can't use unless you get government control and government permission. But here now the permission isn't going to just come from Austin or just come from Washington. Now we're going to have to go to La Hague or wherever they control things. And the big thing here is it slows things up so much. I imagine a few of them think that they'll be able to manage this and we'll be able to help take care of everybody, but obviously that isn't the case. They're going to make this world a lot poorer.
So Obama is the Pied Piper after 8 years of George Bush and all of his New World Order policies to lead America into the New World Order. That's why Newsweek's calling him the president of the world. They're calling him that in British and German and French newspapers. Obama mania in Germany. I mean, they are calling him the one. They are calling him the leader. I mean, anytime you see that in history, Congressman, isn't that dangerous?
I mean, that means not only dangerous, but maybe we have crossed the Rubicon. You know, maybe it's going to be very difficult. So we have to look for sources of optimism, and what do we do? Ultimately, though, all that happens to us is a result of philosophy and beliefs and convictions, and that's where I think we've made some inroads. You know, in spite of the shortcomings of our campaign, I think we made some inroads in calling attention to a lot of people in this country the importance of monetary policy, the importance of the central bank, the importance of how government causes so much problem. It's just that we're in the minority.
That's right. Your campaign covered all the issues that are now unfolding center stage on the